Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday and another 7 o'clock video. Let me just pull up the gadgets. Doing all the things, right? Trying to do all of the things. Okay, woven textures. We're going to try and keep this pretty, not pretty quick, but just concise tonight. Let's hope that the Chaos Goblin doesn't come and visit us. I have this beautiful, it's called Woven Textures DSP. Now, I'm going to show you one layout that I've made. I've also made more layouts with it, and they will be available with a cutting guide to my customers who purchase this from me. Obviously, always, you know, the routine. Reference number, so you know, 165560. Love this paper. So you have, let's see who's with us. Can I see anybody with me? Oh, no. Yes, somebody's here with me. Say hello. Where are you watching from? A couple of people. Oh, come on. Facebook. Okay. Do the things. Give me the comments. No, it's not going to let me see any comments. Okay, beautiful. We just love that. But whoever you are and what you're watching, Sayaka's here. Hi, Sayaka-chan. You'll just have to tell me who's watching. Anyway, this Woven Textures DSP, I think it's super, super pretty. It's two-sided, obviously, you know that. So I flipped the papers over so that you can see it. Now, I know my camera seems to be a little bit off centered. I've got it zoomed in a bit so that you can see stuff. So hopefully you can see this where I have it right now. So this, I love this. It's such fun paper. You've got, it almost looks like basket weave for these two. There are all sorts of different versions of basket weaving. So you've got the brown tones, and then you have more of the grey tones. I've got so much stuff on my desk. I can't get it all on my sheet. And then again, another grey tone. And this is the paper that I'm going to be creating with this evening. I've got a fun card for you to see. And then more of a beige. Look, this is cake crumb. This is the main colour in this one. And you've got this diagonal weave for this one, and then the back of that almost looks like linen, and this is the reason I've got the camera zoomed in so much, so that you can see this linen texture. So it just looks like fabric. It makes me want to cross stitch on it. It's so pretty. And then again, another woven fiber texture. This time almost like that raffia or hemp look, which is really pretty. And this is the one that I used for my layout that I'm going to show you in just a minute. Well, I used a combination of these papers. And then the other side of this one is this pretty diagonal basket weave. Of almost like a straw feel to it. So again, you've got lots of different variations. If I just separate them out, you have all these different backgrounds and textures. I would absolutely use this one for a beach theme. This and this one, they kind of give me that beach feel. And even the grey one does as well. This feels sort of like the privacy fencing that you sometimes get on the beaches to keep the wind down. It's a windbreak. So those are your patterns of paper. Aren't they pretty? I don't know whether anybody out there has used this or likes this. I think it is fabulous paper. I really do like it a lot. So this is Woven Textures. Now, there is a stamp set that goes with it that I've obviously used with this set. And it is cunningly disguised here. It's this one here. And it's called Textured Notes. So you've got Woven Textures, and then the stamp set is Textured Notes, 165548. Now, the fun thing about this set is you have your stamped images, again, a miniature basket, a base of a basket, you've got some florals, and then a woven piece here that we're going to use. So I'm going to use this one, and this one. Then you've got 3 words: you are seriously the best, thank you, and a little note of appreciation. So 165548, and then it has a die set. And the nice thing about this die set, which half of my dies are off here because I've been using it, are these. And again, this is why I've zoomed in. I've actually used 3 of these what are they called? Frames. On the card that I'm going to create tonight. So I've used them on the scrapbook page as well, but I would absolutely recommend these for card front. This large one here is 5.25 by 4, so that when you cut it, your piece will be just slightly smaller than your card front. And then they come down. So you have, if I stack them all back up again so you can see them, they all nest inside each other. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you've got 8. And then the 8th one fits this phrase here perfectly. It's lovely, and they all have different textures to them. So if I pull them up to the camera, and if I stand up, then you'll be able to see them. These are so cool. So the reference number for these frames, like I said, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can count, right? Is 165555. So Ichi Roku, go, 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 go. Okay, so that's the these are the dies. So these, as you can see, have no images that match the stamp set. They're a companion set. So this set you could use with absolutely any stamp set at all. You don't have to keep these together. So if you didn't want the stamps, you could just get the dies and have these fabulous rectangle frames. All right, so like I said, I already went ahead and I've created a layout using this stamp, and then I also used my punch. You know that I love the punch that cuts out the leaves and the boughs, which is somewhere on my desk, but I have no idea right now. I've been creating all day. I've had appointments all day. It's been one of those days, right? In and out and in and out and in and out, and shake it all about. So I also used the die punch, which you know, you've seen me use. It's these leaves and then the little buds, and I'll show you. So this is the layout that I made. This is my first of the 2 layouts that I made, and you can see that I've used some of this textured textured paper, and then I've just brought in white cardstock with it. I'll just show you the corner of it. You don't need to see all of it, but it's kind of fun. I'll show you the 3 photos. So this is my mom with me. This is me with Robin, and then this is obviously Robin with Hayes. And you can see where I stamped the basket, and then I've added in the flowers, and I've added embellishments as well with it. And then here you can see I used that punch, and then the little green pieces again are the punch that I used. Hi Alison. So this is a super cute and super fun layout. So anybody, as I said, purchasing this paper, you get the cutting guide for free from me. Yay, we love that, right? So let's go ahead and make this card, because like I said, the dies, let me fish those dies back out again, and I've already stamped some of this just for speed, so we don't sit here for hours and hours on end. This is the stamp set, and then these were the dies that I used, and I'm just going to make sure that you can see what I'm doing here before I keep going, because I need to know that I'm on camera, and I might need to zoom you out a bit. So let's see if I can zoom you. There we go. That's better. So who else is here? Pam's here, and Yuka's here. Alison, Catherine, Kristen is here. And so, yeah, that's all of you, I think, which is kind of fun. There we go. You should be able to see a little bit easier. So I've already cut my card base, standard size, 5.5 by 8.5, standard card size. So Go Tengo, Kokoro Hachi Tengo, and you're going to score it at 4.25. So it may have just sold out temporarily, so because this is a brand new set, so make sure that you just watch for it coming back, and then this set should come back again. Okay, so it was only released last month, so it was an online special. It's not in a brochure, so you should be able to find it on my website. So I've just cut out of the basic white just a standard card front. Okay, so here we go with these pieces. So here is that largest die, as you can see. That's this one here, and you can just, if I hold this up, see the texture around the edge of the frame. Even though it is on a patterned paper, I'm hoping that you can still see that pattern around the edge. Super, super cool. And the horizontal and vertical lines almost mimics the basket weave on this. So let's put this one down. No, we're not going to put it down because we need to add ribbon. Right. I've got to try and remember what I did. Okay. We're also going to take this one here, which is the third one in, and this one is easier to see. We've got the long lines with the little horizontal stripes through it. Now this is kind of fun. This almost reminds me of a fence when I looked at it. So this would be fun for a photo of the horses in the paddock. It also kind of reminds me of bamboo as well. So you could absolutely use it for that effect as well if you were doing an Asian inspired layout or card front. I think that would be super cool with that one too. We're going to add some ink to this one, and what I'm going to use is a sponge for my ink pad, or one of my ink pads that we're going to use tonight. I'm going to use this ink pad and we're going to use the blending brush. Okay, I'm using the mini blending brush, and somewhere on my desk is my scrap paper that I've been using, and I can't find it, but we'll use this. So in some of the paper packs or in the embellishment packs, you get this piece of packing cardstock. I love this stuff because it's heavyweight and it makes a great base to keep the ink off your projects. So we're using Pretty in Pink. This is the 26 colors. Okay, so I'm going to, obviously you know the rules, go round and round in circles to pick up your ink, touch off the excess, and then you're just going to bring it onto your card. Now, could I have just used Pretty in Pink cardstock? Yes, I absolutely could. I'm starting off on my paper and on my scrap and bringing it onto my basic white cardstock. I could have used a coloured cardstock for this, but sometimes you don't have the coloured cardstock. So this is a great way of making your cardstock tone with your project without having that cardstock on hand. If you love the colour, obviously you can get the cardstock. You can get it in 12 by 12 sheets in the solid core cardstock that matches, and you can get it as 12 by 12 in a multi-pack, so that'll give you multiple sheets of each colour within that set. Because this is a colour of the year and there are 5 colours, you would get 4 12 by 12 sheets. Or with a standard colour that isn't one of the limited edition colours, you can get an entire 8.5 by 11 pack in a single specific colour. Okay, so I love the combo packs of 12 by 12. It gives me lots of options. I can make layouts with it, I can make cards with it, I can choose. But if you don't have a colour, this is a great way. And I'm not looking for an even coverage, I'm looking for this sort of cloudy, soft look. So I'm not looking for a solid colour. Now, if you said, well, Sarah, I actually want a solid colour, you could use your ink pad. I'm just going to take a scrap piece. You could take your cardstock and just touch it to your ink pad, and that would give you a solid colour. And you can see the difference between the two. And then here, I think, is a piece of cardstock that is the true, so this is the true colour of the cardstock. This looks very, very wet. It's, sorry, very, very dark. It's because it's wet. So once this dries, it will soften and dry to this tonal shade. But you can see between these two colours how close they are with me just brushing the ink on gently to it. So as I say, yes, I absolutely could have just dipped my cardstock in the ink, but I didn't want that look. I wanted a very soft, cloudy background, and that will do nicely. Okay, so we're just going to close this up for us. Oh no, we need this open. We need this open. All right, so let me move this out the way so that I don't get ink on everything, because you know that's happening. We're trying to keep the Chaos Goblin at bay tonight. All right, that is our goal. All right, so then my last piece, I took this one here, and it has almost this, it isn't barbed wire, but it almost gives me that vibe. I know I'm weird, but you have this line image cut into the cardstock. All right. Now, one of the things I did do is I stacked these together, because it's only going to cut on the outside edge and then give you the pattern. It doesn't cut the inside out. So what I did, which I thought was kind of fun, is to cut it in a double set. So when I ran it through my machine on another piece of artwork, I just took my 2 dies, placed it face down on my cardstock, and then I just held it in place with some post-it notes, or you can use drop masking tape, a low tack tape, and just stick it together, then run it through your embossing machine, and then you will get a frame that you can put something in the center. Or you can cut this piece and then cut your centerpiece out with a paper trimmer, or you can just use a piece of paper or cardstock, for example, and then just cut it slightly smaller, so it gives that illusion of being able to see through it. So you have options with this. You really do. Right, I'm just going to move these out of the way just because I can. Okay. So on this piece, we're going to bring in the Pretty in Pink again. Oh, I know somebody asked me for the reference number for Pretty in Pink. Hang on. It is 163807. That is Pretty in Pink. And then we're going to use Grey Granite, which is the base colour in this paper. And the reference number is 147118. Okay. Now, you don't often see me using grey. Grey is not a colour that I usually go for. I tend to go for the browns, the espressos. I'm not a grey person. I don't wear grey clothing. It's just not my vibe. But for this paper, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to do a combination of base of first and second generation stamping. So I've already blocked up my stamps, obviously, and this is that basket weave image, and I'm just going to stamp it directly onto my piece like that. Okay, I love this image. And when I first saw this stamp set, it really reminded me of the Elements of Text, and that is this set, and this is 164774. And another thing, this almost reminds me of brickwork from a distance. When I'm looking down at my artwork through the camera, this almost reminds me of bricks. It isn't, but it kind of gives you that vibe. But I love this Elements of Text. You have this huge round one, and then you've got some smaller words, and then splodges. You know I love a good splodge. They're a great way. If you don't want to flick ink everywhere, then have a stamp that has a splodge on it. That's the technical term, right? A splodge. And the reference number is 164774. Okay, we are going to tonight, even use this huge round one. I love this image, and I'm only going to use part of it. I don't want the whole thing, and I'm going to use second generation. So stamp it off on your scrap paper first, and then I am just going to put a little bit of it like that. Oh, I love that. Love, 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 love. And I'm going to clean these after the class so we don't just spend the whole time looking at that. Now, here we come in with these images. This is this image. And again, we're talking second generation. Okay, so stamp off, and then we're going to put a couple on here, to one here, like that. So you get a much, much lighter version. And then I took this stamp, and I've already gone ahead and cut it out. All right, so you can see where I've cut it out. So let me just get rid of this grey ink before we go any further, because I'm going to show you another technique. So you know that I was a great one for doing this technique on the old style ink pads, and I've explained to you that if you have the little miniature inks, you can absolutely do that. You cannot do it with these ink pads. It doesn't work in the same way. So we have options, right? You can pick up the ink on your brush and you can brush it like this, but because the brush is round, it doesn't give you a lot of control. You can use a sponge dauber. Obviously, I don't have a pink sponge dauber here. Hang on, let me see if I can find a clean one. It's not looking good. Shocker. I know. You don't need to say a word. Okay, so I'm going to show you in the yellow because I've got yellow ink on here from another project. So you can do it with a yellow sponge dauber. And even though it's rounded, it's not as rounded, or it's a firmer surface than the brushes. So I don't know whether you can see if I bring it up. You get much less ink. So this was a sponge dauber. This was from the brush. Okay, what we're going to do tonight is we're literally just going to dip it into the ink. So if I just hold that up, you can see the difference between the three ways of ink distressing. You can obviously you can scissor distress if you wanted to, but I want to add a little bit of color to that. So that's what we're doing. We're doing the dipping technique. So this is the brush, or the teddy bear brush, which is the blending brush. This is the sponge dauber, which is this one, and then this is that dipping technique. So we're going to dip. So I already stamped up my words, a little note of appreciation, and we're just touching it into that ink pad. We're not pushing it down hard, just touching it into the surface, and then you can see it just adds that little bit of ink all the way around the edge. So I think that's a cool technique, and we're going to also do that to my card base. And again, we're just going to touch it, just dip, 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 just touching it to the edge of the ink pad. Super fast, super easy technique, right? And then I've got ink all the way around. If you want to go in and add a little bit more, you know Sarah, she likes her corners to be inky. I'm a huge fan of inky corners, so just going in and just carefully touching those corners. Okay, right, we've done that. We're going to do the same thing with this one because it's the white cardstock. And I might even do it on my blending brushed cardstock, just to give it just that little bit. It almost gives it a border. It just defines the edges of it just a little bit. Okay, perfect. All right, let's put this one away because we are almost done with this. I've got another sample and another color combination to show you in just a minute. And although this card looks difficult, it's got a lot of pieces. I think it's super pretty. Let's put this all together. We can get some embellishments on it. And then you can have fun with your... Now, could I do the ink on this? I could. I'm not going to. It doesn't need it. Right, let me find my adhesive. Oh, this one. Is it? No. Oh, I thought it was nearly out there. Okay, this stuff is super sticky. Okay, right, so I'm just gonna, no, I don't want to center it, honestly, that's twice I've almost done that, right? We need to put these pieces to it first, because I'm going to add ribbon to it, and I keep trying to glue it down without any ribbon on it. Okay, so we're going to put this as an angle. Look how pretty that pink looks against the grey. This one, we're going to 3D foam tape like our lives depend on it. So Stampin' Dimensionals for days to give it some texture, because this paper is all about the textures, right? Printed and in person. And we're going to put that piece like so. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get it on this piece. So, does anybody have this paper yet? I absolutely love it. I really do. I think it's so pretty. And somewhere, cunningly disguised as something else, I have some... Oh, there they are. Right, we're going to put this piece like that. Okay, so before I stick it down, we have ribbon. So let's just add the adhesive to this. Oop. So we're just going to... And we'll put a bit in the middle as well because it makes it easier. So I put it at each end. So I've cut it just a little bit wider. Let's try and straighten it up so I get my ribbon straight on here. Something like that. And we'll just I'll just pick that up with my tweezers because of course I've got adhesive on it, so I've stuck it to my glass mat. Okay, and I'm going to show you a cheat way of tying a knot. I love it when you see the fastening of the ribbon on the front of the card, but if you have to tie it all the way around and then put it down, you waste all this ribbon on the back. So I'm going to show you a lazy knot. Now we can put this face on here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to center that on that. Oh, so pretty. Then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to take an end. So I cut a piece that was about 4.5 inches to go across that front. And then we're just going to take a piece and tie it in a knot like so. And then just take my scissors and just snip it on the front. That way, it gives the illusion of being tied all the way around the back and onto the front, when actually it isn't. So it actually uses up less ribbon. Do you love that idea? I do. All right, so let's get these words down. And again, 3D foam tape or stamping dimensionals or whatever you have to hand, and then adhesive on this end where it's going to attach to the, whatever they're called, leaves. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so we're just going to layer this. I'm going to tuck it underneath the ribbon. I just don't want my ribbon knot to cover my words up, right? So that will define that. And then let's take some gems, and we're going to use the in color. So this is the 24 to 26 in color gems, 163781. And obviously the ribbon was the in color, the Pretty in Pink, 163784. So it's the Pretty in Pink ink and ribbon, and then we'll use the pink gems from this combination pack as well. They come in 2 sizes. I know it's hard to see, but this side are the large ones and then this side are the small ones. So let's add some gems here. So I think we need a couple down here. I've got into the habit of putting them in 2s. So that forms 3. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I didn't stick that one down very hard, did I? There, that's better. And then we'll put, I think, another one here. And one there. And then we'll put another large one here. Oh, I like that. And then let's put another one over here. Oh, I think it actually is over there. All right, perfect. So those are the in colour. So the ribbon, the gems and the ink all matches together, which I think is really, really pretty. Do you like that? So I did another one earlier. Oh, hang on, let's do an envelope. So let's get our ink pad back out again, because one of the things that I was told, or we were encouraged while we were in Raleigh a couple of weeks ago, never a naked envelope, apparently. So what we're going to do is I'm going to again take my scratch cardstock, and let's take this stamp, and let's just do a couple on there, and then let's do a couple on the front as well. We'll open it out so that it doesn't make another ridge that I don't want for stamping on. And again, we will do a partial image. And so you'll have to remind me now, from now on, never a naked envelope. No nakedness. So now my card matches my envelope, and we love that. Yes, you can buy a pack of envelopes, just plain envelopes, so you can make your card however you like. So that was the pink one, the Pretty in Pink. And as I said, I also did one in the Summer Splash. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. See, here's me thinking I was finished and I wasn't. I'm like, I'm missing something. Let's take the shimmer brush. Let's move this out of the way. And then just take my shimmer brush, and we're going to pick up a little bit of that ink that I squished into the ink pad already. And then let's just add just a whisker of colour to those leaves that have no ink in them. Right, I like that. And let's do the same on the envelope. And we'll just add just a touch of sparkle, because we need sparkly envelopes, right? And that's one of the nice things that I love about the card kits that we have in stock. And did you see in the online kits tab in your shopping area that they have 2 new beautiful kits. One has a boat theme, like a sailing boat theme, and the other is in all shades of blues. Oh, it's divine. So pretty. So let's just add it. And you can see that I'm not adding ink to my brush every single time. So some of these leaves have more color in them, and then some of them have less. As obviously the more you paint without re-inking it, you're going to get that lighter shade. And if you want to add more, you just come back in and add some ink over the top. Ha! There we go. Just wipe it on your scrap paper to remove any ink. And then you can wipe this out if you want to. I don't care if my ink pads are sparkly. You know that. So here it is again, finally, in the pink. And then here I made one in Summer Splash. And I am going to give one of these cards away. Yes, how do you get your hands on these cards, on one of the cards? You have to, in the comments below, tell me Pretty in Pink or Summer Splash, whichever is your favorite. And then you need to share this video. So you need to comment on it, you need to like it, and you need to share it to your private page, please, and tell me you've shared it. So Pretty in Pink and shared, or Summer Splash shared, and then actually do share it, because I can't always see, if I'm not friends with you personally, I can't see your private pages depending on how you've got it locked down. So whichever name I pull out, whichever color you pick, you will get that card mailed to you. So I hope you've liked this. I hope you've enjoyed it. This pretty paper, and then the textured note stamps, and the coordinating dies that I've shown you this evening and we've played with. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. We brought in elements of text, and so yeah, some fun new stamps, fun new paper. So as I say, like it, share this video, tell me which of those 2 colors that you like, and tell me that you've shared it. And one lucky winner before next Tuesday is going to get this card. Yay! See you next Tuesday. Bye.